Dinniman Jr., who made it clear. He was so clear, he went to the newspaper and told them why he was going to war. He was trying to encourage other black men to join him in that. And it was very clear that first was the dedication, that people was a certain dedication to country, to the Union, because black soldiers were crucial in that, and black soldiers have been crucial in every war this nation has fought, including the Revolutionary War. And second was an understanding that slavery needed to be ended, and free black men needed to be part of that struggle. Listen to that paragraph again. We believe the day has come that slavery's brutal chain shall be broken down and man shall stand with man. So understand that as we stand here today, that struggle, as Mr. Harbaugh spoke about, is as real today as it was in the past. And that there's a continuity in terms of black thought and dedication. Sometimes we like to think as if today is the beginning, or the civil rights movement was the beginning. The beginning was when the first black people came to Virginia in the 1600s. The beginning and the struggle is one that continues. Now, two other things, if I may, since I'm a professor today and not a politician. One is, what caught my eye, there was a recent article called in the Chester County Press called Honoring the Heroes of Hinsonville. And what caught my eye is something that Gooch said, Dr. Gooch said, and I think Jimmy Jackson feels this, and I think many of you in the room feel the same thing, when she said this. Gooch said that the moment she first stepped foot in the cemetery at Hosanna Church, she felt she was being addressed by the soldiers. The connection was clear to Dr. Gooch. She couldn't help. God had given her a mission. The voice of the past. People can't speak, but the voice of the past that your pastor spoke about in this church is alive in these walls. Don't doubt it. When I go to celebrations at church and institutions, I think to myself, just listen carefully. And you'll hear the struggle, you'll hear the voices, you'll hear how what people felt. It's alive and well in the wall. And she went on to say, they seem to say to me, okay, you're the one. Here we are. We left the record. Unlike our counterparts at Lincoln University who served in the Civil War, we were the local guys who did not have access to formal education. We were unable to articulate and shape the historical narrative, but our families intentionally left these monuments so that we would not be forgotten. So the message is for this church, who has a cemetery, not to forget the monuments that their families have left. Sometimes they were covered with thickets and with trees. And when Jimmy Jackson went into that cemetery, just as Dr. Gooch went into the cemetery in Hinsonville, those voices spoke. That connection was made. God's will prevailed, that we have that connection to our past and to our common, by the way, for me as a white person, to our common humanity and common struggle. Hemingway used to say, it's not just about the human spirit surviving, but maybe it can even prevail. And it's not going to prevail without faith, by the way. And that's the key, because faith is hope. And with hope can come great change for each of us and for the nation. So I hope we'll remember today Valentine Tillman Jr. and what he told us and what he said, that the struggle continues, that self-determination remains. And finally, one last thing. You need to understand, if you will, all of us, white and black, need to understand what W.E.B. Du Bois taught us in Souls of the Black Book. Essentially, in African American history, there have been three responses. There have been those who have given up or just explode in rage. The Hunts, if you remember that famous play by Lorraine Hansberry, does the raisin in the sun, does it shrivel up or does it explode? That was one, but always a minority of the black community's reaction. There were those who wanted no part of America, who wanted separation. Always a minority. But the major reaction of the black community from the very beginning was self-determination, but on terms that would allow for black pride and advancement. Ralph Ellison, remember the Invisible Man, taught us that the problem is that often those who look at people in a minority position, whether they're black, whether they're Jewish, whether they're whatever, that they don't see the person. They see a figment of their imagination. So what has to happen is that we have to clear our minds. We have to see with new eyes. We have to make sure that the poor, or that the new immigrant who comes into the nation, the black person, or someone who might have a disability, or the student who's not succeeding in school, is not invisible to us, but is a real and decent and valuable human being. Because in essence, as I conclude here, the Quakers who came to this county, who were also involved in Underground Railroad, taught us something very important. They said that the flame of God burnt in every single human being, man or woman, no matter what color, no matter what ethnicity. And you cannot praise God without recognizing that his flame is part and parcel of every single one of us, of every single human being. And as we continue that mission in this county, then we continue to struggle for the day, and these soldiers help us understand the past, and it's with their determination, with their notion of self-determination, that we can go into a glorious future of this nation. You know, politician again, forget Trump. We have to fight him, but we will. And we will win, and we will succeed, because we understand the basis upon which this nation was based, and we will continue the tradition of the Hinsonville, of the Hutchinson, UAME soldiers, and continue to fight until this nation is equal and free for all. Thank you so much.
Amen.
Just a minute, Andy, just a minute. Reverend Miller, just a minute. Reverend Miller and State Rep Harry Lewis, could y'all come up here, please? And Andy, could you
Yeah,
Harry,
come on, Harry.
present this to Reverend Miller, please? Thank you.
It's my pleasure to present it. The problem was that the Senate and the House didn't pass their citations this year. And Harry and I are going to make sure they do something about it. So when I discovered this yesterday, I wrote my own. And I wanted to present it on the